What's going on? Coach Luca back here at Vigor Fitness and Performance. I say back here because I'm always back here. And today what we're going to do is cover 7 different mobility exercises that you should be doing, but you're probably not. Now, when I say should be, it depends, and some of them I'll explain when you shouldn't be doing them, but they're really, really good for a lot of different things that we usually see issues with. Opening up hips, activating, engaging core, open up thoracic spine. All right, so a lot of different things that you'll see. So these are things that you can do before your training sessions, as, like I said, as part of the warm-up, and we'll talk about which one kind of falls in where, as well as could be afterwards, but some things are just really good to improve posture and just improve mobility in general because you get yourself moving a lot. So these are just great drills to do, period, right? So we'll give them to a lot of clients throughout the day when, if they're especially a lot of positions of sitting and even standing, like I said, that just builds that repetitive posture that gets them moving around, especially for the spine. Remember, the best position is the one that's constantly moving. All right, so we're going to start off with hip flexor mobilizations, and we usually use the wall for this one, but since we're kind of like out here on the open and we got training going on, we're going to use this rogue sled just so that I have some, I would say, stability, right? So I'll push it back a little bit. Now, this is the position that you've probably seen before or somebody doing this stretch. But with a mobilization, what we're going to do is we want to be in a good position. So I'm not extended, right? I'm not extended where my low back is overworking, my neck's in the back position. I'm staying nice and tall, so my neck, shoulder, hip, knee should all be in the same line, right? Whether I'm there, hopefully I am because I can't see myself, right? But I'm going to fire this glute, and as I move forward, I'm going to pull my leg towards my butt, squeeze my glute, and move forward from this knee. So when you're doing it with a wall, obviously you'd have a wall in front of you. I'd be pushing with the other hand to the wall. I could create some more stability and engage the core, right? So if I'm pushing in here and then I'm coming back. So I'm just mobilizing, squeeze, neck's in a good position, it's packed. If I breathe out, it gets my rib cage down as well. So I'm actually moving and mobilizing there. All right, so that's going to engage glutes, engage core, keep that rib cage down. The neck is in a good position, so I'm not rounded and forward. And I'm mobilizing that hip. All right, so that's one that's doing a lot of things that you won't, I would say, that most people have issues with. Tight hip flexors, not engaging the core and the glutes. All right, second one, we're going to do a glute bridge and then do a reach where we're going to also get thoracic spine involved. So I'm going to get into this bridge position on the ground. Right? As I come up, I'm going to reach over with my hand. So I'm driving up and I'm reaching over. I'm firing the glutes hard. And I like a breathe out here too, because a lot of people will go into extension and feel it in their low back. So as I come up, I'm going to reach. So you should be feeling it mostly in glutes and not much low back. The breathing out helps you from, like I said, leaning back and working your low back versus your glutes, right? Both of the drills that I just showed, you're going to do about 8 repetitions per side. Number 3, we're going to go into, and you've probably seen this a lot, we're actually going to do another drill that comes out of this one, is a yoga push-up, right? So from our position of a push-up, and if somebody can do this, if they can't do the push-up or they have any types of issues there, we'd just go from this position up, right? But if you can, we're doing the full push-up. So engaging the core and then pushing away into the hamstrings, into the heels, getting the neck, like I said, with that neutral spine, abs nice and engaged. We're going in between those elbows if we can't, but like I said, I actually was with my head forward a little bit. I want my neck nice and packed, right? So I'm not having this forward head posture. My neck is packed. And then coming back down. All right, so we're doing a bunch of things there. Engaging core, getting a calf hamstring stretch. Also, right at the top, we can breathe out. We got a packed neck. We're actually getting extension in our spine. So our upper back, so upper spine, right? Which we're nice and tight. At that top, we get a little bit of extension. So it's great for it. And we get shoulder flexion, which helps a ton, right? Number 4 now, we're going to go into, this is a drill where we can work a lot of stuff from it. So we start from, I'm going to kind of coach and cue this Spider-Man position, right? Because Spider-Man position is, so if we start in the push-up position, I'm going to come up with this leg, okay, to my hand. Now, the cues here are this, right? I'm actually going to drive my back heel out. So I'm driving it out as far as I can, which makes me engage my butt and my glute, right? This knee is going to push into my hand, into my shoulder, should I say. So I'm engaging adductors here. I'm pushing the ground away to get my core engaged. But then a great cue here, is so that we're not really rounded, is to open up the clavicles, right? So imagine those clavicles are ripping apart. Watch what happens to my shoulder. So I'm here, I'm pushing in, I'm pushing back, and then, right, I opened up my clavicles. I'm in a neutral position right here with the neck. You can take a couple deep breaths in through the nose. Now, from here, I would put my hand on the outside and then drive that back heel into the ground, toe up, okay? So we're getting a hamstring stretch there, okay? Now, some people may not be able to do that fully, but you just go as far as you can. Now we're going to come back down, bring this knee down, hand is down on the ground, open up those clavicles again. We're going to open up this side, so making sure the hip doesn't open up this side, and rotating the neck with the hand, so we're moving through the thoracic spine. All right, so you want to be careful that when we do this, you're not doing this, right? So my shoulder's gliding forward, and we're not actually moving from the upper back. So I'm going with my neck, opening up that thoracic spine. I like to breathe out every time, so to keep me in a good position with the core, and it makes a huge difference. All right, so that's number 4. We'd go 5 per side. The great thing about this drill is that we're working so many different things, right? We're engaging glute. We're getting hip flexor stretched out. We're getting the adductor on this side working. We go into a hamstring stretch. And from there, we're doing thoracic rotation. Right, a lot of great stuff. Okay, which brings me to the Bretzel. Right, the Bretzel is, put it this way, the Bretzel is it's a drill that is kind of created by Gray Cook, and I'll say Brett Jones actually kind of started this, but where it's a corrective for FMS. So the 2 different variations of it that I'm going to show you, one is where if you're doing an FMS screen and you're having a problem with a lunge and rotary stability, right? We do this. So that's version 1. The second version is if you're having problems with a squat and shoulder flexion, tight thoracic spine. So I'll show both variations. So the first one that we're going to set up is we're going to use the foam roller to support the neck, right? So I'm going to bring this leg across, and I'm going to lay down. Now, what's important is that when I lay down, I have this angle. So this knee's down to the ground, but I'm actually rotated a little bit so that I don't have rotation, right? So right now my back is flat. I'm supported here on my neck. And as you can see, this leg is extended. This leg is bent. My top hand is going to reach back and grab my ankle. Now, if you can grab it by literally the ankle and not here and rotate it, this is much better. Now, at this point in time, you'll see that I haven't rotated, right? I shouldn't rotate to get there, right? So I'm still nice and neutral. Now, I'm going to start off by engaging like this leg on the back. I'm going to squeeze and extend And here I'm going to engage the quad. So at the same time, I'm going to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Breathe and let go. And now rotate from the thoracic spine. Right? The foot's going to drop too. Now if I want to get some more range here, I do it again. Squeeze. And release. So now I'm getting that rotation from the thoracic spine. Now, for anyone that's having low back problems, like real issues, and this puts you in a bad place, don't do it. All right, this wouldn't be the right drill, like I said, because if you have an injury, you want to make sure you know what the injury is and not go into these drills, okay? But this may be a good drill for you because in here and in these positions, once you're open, what's important is that you own it, meaning that you can actually breathe through it. So I'm taking full exhalation and then inhaling through the nose. If you're in a position where you can't and it's difficult for you to breathe, your goal is just to get to a position where you can own it and breathe through it. Right? Fully exhale, take it in through the nose. Okay? So that will be the Bretzel 1. Like I said, this is one if you're having issues with lunge single leg pattern or rotary stability. Number 2 would be, and the reason why we did that yoga push-up is that you can kind of see the setup on this one. As I am right in front, right, I'm going to go into, so first so that we actually feel our core engage it, right? We can go push-up, back into that position. And now when we come down, we're going to turn to the side and then rotate our body in this direction. Now this side is actually the tighter side for me right away. So I'm trying to turn my shoulders. You can see my hand is in line with this side of the hip. The other one's here, all right? Now on this side, this is difficult for me. So I can do pretty good opening up those shoulders and just breathing. So it may just be sticking there for you and just working on that. Breathing out. So feeling oblique, feeling the hip. Now to get, like I said, because now I can keep my lumbar spine nice and flat in this position, what I'm going to do is bring this hand underneath. And the reason why is so that I'm not pushing on into the ground with my right hand right now, right? So the hand that is on this side of the hip is the one that's going to stay down, but it has to be really soft. That's why I'm putting my hand under so that I feel that I'm not pushing into the ground. Now from there, I'm going to lean away without rotating. So I'm going to breathe in. Now I did this a little bit earlier, so I'm a little bit looser, right? And the good thing about this is, like I said, I'm not rotating, I'm just leaning away, is I would come back, get more range here, coming back to the other side, and do the same thing. Now you can see how much easier this side is for me. I'm staying open, much easier. It's a lot easier for me to get under here. Much easier on that side. So the great thing about both of those, I would say, stretcher / mobilizations, is that you can see asymmetries, right? Which side is tighter? What are you feeling on one side and the other side? And all you're trying to do, like, is continue to own that position. So if one side is tighter, get to that place, own that position, keep doing the drill, and you'll see how the asymmetries like start to kind of mesh themselves out. So you're going to improve it, right? Now remember, both of those, like especially the second one, your back should be nice and neutral, so you shouldn't be feeling, if you do the drill right, you shouldn't be feeling anything in your low back. If you have any low back issues, the first Bretzel variation may not be a good one for you. Okay, so I'm going right off the bat saying that's the one that it depends, okay? So that was number 6. Now, number 7, we're going to use this again. We'd usually actually use a rig for it, but it's a lat stretch. So we're going to get close to this. So imagine that we're going to sit back onto our heels, and we're going to feel our lat stretch. Now, I'd probably have a weight here and feel the lats. But what we're going to do here, we're actually, if somebody that's very extension based, right? When I talk about extension based, I'm talking about the low back, right? Not the upper back. I'm talking about somebody, right, having this curve in the low back, being lordotic here. So for me, like I was a basketball player, so that's very prominent. A lot of people that come through here are prominent this way. So to get, I would say, teach that spine to go into neutral and then getting that core engaged in that bottom position, when we get here, that's what we're actually doing, right? My lumbar spine is actually closer to neutral now, right? Yes, my upper back is rounded and kyphotic, but the lower one is not, right? So we're feeling a stretch. I'm going to push this away a little bit so I simulate it. So I feel a stretch in my lats now. Neck is packed, and I'm going to fully exhale. And then breathe in through nose. So 5-6 breaths. Now what's going to happen is you're trying to, as you breathe out fully, you're going to feel a cramp in your abs as that rib cage comes down. And also, right, as you're in that position and keeping your neck in a good neutral position and flatten out your upper back, when you breathe in, you're going to feel your diaphragm fill up, and it's going to go all the way up. You're actually going to feel a mobilization, if, like I said, when you breathe in fully, mobilization in your upper back as well. So we're training ourselves to get out of extension, come down here, right, and then still get that thoracic extension. Because our breathing muscles, they're attaching to the thoracic spine. So when we can breathe properly down into the diaphragm, mid-rib cage, apical expansion up here, we're actually mobilizing the thoracic spine. So when we don't breathe correctly and we're chest breathers, we actually make our upper back stiff. Right? So this is a great drill to do. Might even be one of the first ones that we have somebody in come and do if they're tight and stressed out from the day and really breathing shallow. That might be one of the first drills, or a breathing drill on the ground. But that's 7 different mobility drills that you're probably not doing but should be doing. And like I said, the only one that you want to kind of pay attention to with your low back is the Bretzels, and just see how you're feeling. Like I said, if you have any pain, if you have any injury, you got to go get it checked out. These are just things that are very good. They're preventative. They're, like I said, they will help you move better, perform better, and start improving the symmetries. Right? So start plugging some of them. Like I said, even if it's just 1 or 2 of these drills that you're not doing, but you're now starting to plug them into your training sessions before, during, after, and they'll really help you, like I said, get a lot more out of training and make you feel better.